Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhanan mrutyurmukshiyamamrutat.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavai. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotigamaya mrityo ma shanti shanti. Good morning. So today I want to discuss with you rural life versus urban life. We can discuss it in your classroom also. I've been to Palwansa and some villages nearby the last 2 days. I was just thinking the people in villages are really relaxed. Okay, plenty of time at their leisure, at their disposal. If you have the inclination, you can read books, you can pray, you can meditate. Intellectually you can grow, spiritually you can grow. Whereas people in urban areas are busy from morning to evening, You have to become as busy as a bee. తేనెటీ పొద్దు నుంచి సాయంకాలం దాకా తేనె కలెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటూనే ఉండాలి. 16 hours a day he has to work. We all have become as busy as a bee, including, we the sannyasins also. So why such a fascination for urban life? When Corona came, people in urban areas got affected more than in rural areas. Okay, it has been proved the world over that the disease resistance levels of people in villages are far higher than the disease resistance levels of the people living in urban areas. So because when you are in a rural area, you expose yourself to sun, you expose yourself to wind, you touch the soil, you walk on the soil. They say body has to be in touch with 5 elements. ఈ శరీరం అనేటువంటిది పంచభూతాలతో టచ్లో ఉండాలి. Body is after all made up of 5 elements. There 5 are there or not? You are made up of an extra element. Every one of us is made up of these 5 elements, panchabhutas we call. So you have to be in touch with that. Also for the kind of knowledge, technology that is available, even in a small farm today, if you adopt right agricultural practices, you can make money also. And not that actually there is no money in rural areas, but unfortunately after independence what we have done in this country, we have given the same kind of education to rural children and urban children. Government has not even noticed it as yet. Okay, same kind of education is thrust upon everybody without taking into consideration the resources that are available locally. So suppose you are teaching a rural kid education, what you need to teach? Basically, what are the resources that are available with rural children? What are the land is available, plenty of land, cattle will be there. So how to optimize the utilization of those resources and how to generate wealth by using those resources. This you could have thought. Had you thought them, actually this much of migration would not have taken place to urban areas. Now the problem is the cost of living is actually increasing by the day, and people, the human soul is getting crushed under the weight of the cost of living. Because everything is connected to money, everything is currency note based life. So you need to have money. For that actually you need to make yourself like a machine. From morning to evening you have to work and like an automaton, like a machine, to keep the life going. Where is the charm in life? Where is the beauty in life without leisure? You don't even get time to think, to reflect. You just see how beautiful actually the sunrise. Do you notice that? We don't, we miss it. Such a beauty, this world. The sunrise, with focus and with attention, you just observe it. It should make you, get into ecstasy. It will make you, if you provided you know how to observe it. No, that's what I'm saying here. So there is this, why have we done this? We are just imitating the West. That's the biggest problem. Nothing original. The last 70 years, what you have become copycats. The policy making practically is not happening. You know why it is not happening? You just see politicians are always busy with the political activity because they party, they have to rebuild, party, they have to strengthen. Next time when I win or not, what I need to do, always preoccupied with that. Oh, policy making. Next, who has to do the policy making? Civil servant has to do. In India, if you just look at it, except IPS and other services, IAS, what happens? Every 3 years, your department is changed. 2.5 years you are in a department, and afterwards you are shifted to some other department. So ultimately, so after 40, 50, generally by the time you become secretary, when you become secretary, you will get, some say in policy making. Practically they make the policy. Of course, the technical experts will be there most of the time. Their views, I don't think actually they will consider that seriously, because he is the boss. The secretary is the boss. In 2 years and 2.5 years, suppose today I am in health ministry, and next after 2 years I will be in education ministry, after 2-3 years I will be in panchayat raj, after 2-3 years I will be in revenue. So you will become a master of all, jack of all, master of none. You have little knowledge of all the departments, but to make a policy you need to go into the core of the issue. Next 15 years, 20 years down the line, what kind of policy is required for the country, for the society as a whole. And also, morning to evening, the ministers meeting, this meeting, that meeting, 10 to 12 meetings on an average per day, most of the secretaries they attend. Where is that quality time for them to make the policy, to think for the country? The people who are supposed to think for the country, people who are supposed to make the policy, they themselves don't have quality time on their hands. And that's the reason that foresight and farsight, what the country needs, will be lacking in automatically. It's a lot of hawk. Time That's how the kind of policy has happened in the last 70 years, in my opinion. That's the reason, of course, definitely many problems can be attributed to that. That's what I'm saying. The rural children should get a different kind of education. Otherwise, what is happening today? If you just give the same kind of education, I get an MBA certificate, I'm from rural background. But that MBA, because I have the certificate, I have to migrate to urban areas by compulsion. With the education that I get actually, will make me, will compel me to migrate to a town or city. So I can't stay at rural areas in a village because my education is like that. This is what you have taught me. So that's the reason huge population is migrating to urban spaces, and practically villages are getting empty, and agriculture is in a crisis as usual. As I already told you, milk is in short supply, and farmers, if you ask them to keep cattle, they say, where are the people? Farm hands we are not getting. Not even one person, Swamiji. In one village he was telling, one person to get it, to work on farms or to work with cattle. So I am already 60-year-old. How can I take care of a cow? How can I take care of a buffalo? So I am already 60 years. So they are also purchasing milk, packet milk. Where people who are in villages, actually, they are purchasing packet milk. They are purchasing milk from urban areas. In fact, it should have been the reverse, actually. People actually produce it in rural areas. They keep cattle and then they supply it to urban areas, people living in urban areas. So that means most of the milk that we get is adulterated and second rate and of poor quality, because you take that and then you get sick. Air is polluted, water is polluted, food is polluted. I think actually it is high time we stop this urbanization. We have to give a call, like, go back to village. Long back, Swami Dayananda Saraswati had given a call, go back to the Vedas. Like that, you have to give a call to go back to the village. Only thing is because you are already educated in certain way, and that actually, prevents you from thinking originally. Otherwise, you forget about all that you have learned. So what is the resource that is available? What is the resource that is at my disposal? How I can make money by using this resource? You just think. For the kind of agricultural practices, knowledge, that is technical know-how that is available, even in a small farm of 2-3 acres, actually, you can produce, so much of wealth that will be sufficient, to lead a decent life in rural areas. The advantage is when you have leisure only, you can grow intellectually and spiritually. That's what Swamiji said. The problem with the urbanites is they don't have leisure. Because there is no leisure, intellectual and spiritual development is not possible. That's why many psychological issues are coming. Because you don't get to read anything. Because you don't have time. You have to run. You just think you have a debate in your classroom. Urban life versus rural life. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.